Here is how to get the best recording for your Soil Regen Summit presentation. Open up Zoom on your computer. Click on the settings icon here to open up the settings, or you can go to zoom.us and then preferences. From here, click video and you'll see your webcam appear. If you don't, check this box right here and it should have your default webcam right there. If it doesn't, you may have to change your preferences or system settings in your Mac or PC. Make sure HD is clicked right here, and you can adjust for low light if you're in a low light scenario, but we'll talk about that later and how it's better to set up the light properly in the first place, but you can adjust it here if you need more light. Make sure the always display participant name on their videos is turned off. We don't want to see that. And for our purposes, the rest of these don't matter. Now go to audio, and for the speaker levels, you'll want to keep these all the way at the bottom. And if you need to turn down your external speakers on the speakers themselves, do that. What we don't want to hear is notifications dinging while you're trying to talk. If you're playing a video during your presentation, it'll be best to send a link to our editors to incorporate the file into the video later. Under microphone here, choose the best option. By default, it will probably be display audio. I have a Scarlett USB preamp with a microphone attached, so this is the option that I'm using. Right here is your input level. It should be in this green area, about in the middle or even a little bit further as you talk. Mine is controlled by an external preamp, but you can boost the input volume on yours right here until it gets to about there. I suggest deselecting this automatically adjust microphone level because it's going to be better if you can dial it in manually. If you can't get these green bars, even jacking this up all the way, then you probably have a very bad audio connection anyway. Maybe you're too far from the mic like this, in which that's not going to sound very good, or you need to adjust your system settings on your Mac or PC. Suppressing the background noise, same thing. Best to keep it low unless you really have to record in a noisy place. Most noises are forgivable, but this feature tends to add some garble to the presenter's voice, so it's best to keep it at low. And the rest of this doesn't matter to us. We're going to share in full screen mode. You can silence system notifications here, but again, we've already turned down the speakers, so this shouldn't be a problem. Uncheck the side-by-side mode. We'll set up the picture-in-picture in a minute. These should all be fine, whatever they're set up. I have two monitors attached, so it's important for me to show all sharing options to make sure I'm presenting the right screen. Finally, we have recording. Make note of the default storage location of your recordings here. You can always change that if you want, just make sure you know where they're going. The video will finalize at the end of your session and may take a while to get there, but it will get there. Check this Optimize for Third-Party Video Editor. This may increase file size, so I recommend making sure you have at least 10 gigabytes of free storage to allocate to this. Keep in mind you should really have more than that free so that you don't start taxing your computer's RAM partway through the video. If you're not sure about this, contact us ahead of time, as we'd hate for you to lose a whole recorded presentation for lack of space. Make sure Record Video During Screen Sharing is active. Make sure that this Place Video next to the shared screen in the recording option is deselected. This is important because it allows you to position your camera box wherever you want on screen. And that should be it for settings. Now start a new meeting. Join with computer audio. It's easiest to start recording before you start the screen sharing process. So we'll do that down here. And now I'll share screen. In case you're unfamiliar with how Zoom screen sharing works, once you start the screen share, the Zoom navigation bar to stop the recording or screen share will disappear and will be viewable only to you at the top of the screen, like this. You can move this window out of your way if you need to. In PowerPoint, I'm going to go into presenter mode here. And then I'm going to take my Zoom window and move it over here to the side. Now, a couple things to keep in mind. One, we want to be able to see our presenter, so Make it big enough. We want to have that connectivity as if we're there with you in person, so don't make yourself so tiny that we can't see you. I'm going to make myself this big. And then the other thing to keep in mind is that you want it out of the way enough so that you're not going to block any of the text or pictures or whatever else you have in your slideshow. Now you're ready to begin your presentation. Make note of what time it is, and this will help you keep track of time as well as being a reference for our editors in case of mistakes. If you make mistakes, don't stop recording, just pause verbally, make mention of it in the video, and jot down the time the mistake occurred. Just take a deep breath, pick up where you left off, and continue presenting. When you're done, escape out of the PowerPoint presentation, stop screen sharing, then stop the recording. We highly recommend doing a quick test of these steps and sending it to our editor for approval or feedback. It doesn't have to be a long sample, just 30 seconds, so we can gauge the audio-video quality and make suggestions if warranted. Tips on camera placement. If you use a laptop like most people who are teleconferencing, you use it at about a 45-degree angle from below. This is not a super flattering shot for most people. It's best to stick some books under that laptop or do what you gotta do to get that camera at eye level. Make sure to sit up straight, not slouched, so move to the edge of your seat if you need to. Use natural lighting to illuminate your face. If that's not an option, you can place table lamps to either side of your monitor, or at least on one side. It's not preferable to use just overhead indoor lighting because it casts kind of nasty shadows on camera. Also, if your background is lit too much differently from your foreground, you can wind up looking too dark or washed out. Again, sending a sample to our editor is the best way to ensure you get the proper setup for presenting. Place yourself in a quiet room. If it's between the best lit room or the quietest, choose the quietest. Your audio quality is more important than the video. Once you've stopped the recording and you've ended the meeting, the video is going to convert, and it may take a while. Before you upload, make sure to rename the files with your first and last name. If you have more than one, add the number of the file at the end. Make sure you hit upload again until it gives you a time left. Remember to click and add the list of timecode mistakes you made during the presentation. You should get a confirmation email from Dropbox saying that the files have been uploaded. Thanks for watching this and have a wonderful presentation.